The actual events of this hack are known, but the names of the attacked banks and involved employees were never disclosed. So to tell this story, we created Maxim. That's him. It's the 8th of April, a regular Tuesday. He works in a Ukrainian bank. He's a well-respected employee, but he has a bad habit of not installing his Windows updates. As he sips his coffee and thinks about the receptionist he has a crush on, an email from his colleague pops in. It's from Sergey, his co-worker. The mail has a Word document attached. It translates into Compliance with Federal Law 115, dated 21/7/2014. Sounds important enough. Maxim clicks on it. He reads it, closes it, and continues his very ordinary workday. A few months later, Maxim is sitting in a meeting. His boss seems distraught. Some of his bank's ATMs started spitting out banknotes at seemingly random times of day. It seems like whoever was lucky enough to show up at the right time could just grab the money. The bank might be the victim of a cyber attack. The employees should act cautious and avoid suspicious emails. Emails, meetings, stress, colossal hacks. For many, it's the same story every day. What if you want to throw in the towel and build something of your own? The bank hired Kaspersky to investigate their problem.
Suddenly all your ATMs are empty. You know that something has happened.
This is Jort van der Wiel. He was part of the team on the case. He checks the hard disks of the affected ATMs for malware and finds nothing. Not one suspicious activity, not a single trail to follow. A few months later, van der Wiel gets a call in the middle of the night. It's 3 a.m. It's an account manager working for a large Russian bank. He says van der Wiel and his team need to call his IT guy ASAP. A couple of minutes later, one of van der Wiel's Kaspersky co-workers shows up at a bank in Russia. The IT guy on the site is panicking. Someone has gained control over their domain controller. That's the heart of their server network. If you control the domain controller in a Windows environment, you basically control everything. And without a good reason, it's sending data to China. The Kaspersky specialist starts to look for malware right away. Eventually, he finds a software that lets you watch and control a computer remotely. Could it be that the intruder is watching them right now? He has an idea. He opens a Word document and writes the Russian word for hello. They wait for a few minutes. Nothing happens. Then, suddenly, the cursor moves, and letters appear. The hacker answered. He adds, in Russian, "You will not catch us." To which the Kaspersky employee replies, "We will catch you." "No, you will not catch us." Okay, it's on. It will take some time, but eventually the Kaspersky team finds the malware. It is similar to the Garburg Trojan. One configuration file of the malware is called Ananak, so the team decides to call it Carbanak. This incident at the Russian bank gave van der Wiel and his colleagues hints about what is going on, and they link it all back to those hacked ATMs in Ukraine. Now they can reconstruct how the Carbanak hackers operate. So let's wind back. This is one of the Carbanak hackers. Again, it's the 8th of April, 2014. He already got into Sergey's email account, but he wants access to Maxim's computer. So he sends out this email with that attachment. The Word file exploits vulnerabilities in Microsoft Word to download malware that contains the backdoor. The hacker now has remote access to Maxim's computer. Next step, gain access to the whole network. And he knows exactly how to do it. The hacker installs a specific software on Maxim's computer, which slows it down, which in turn frustrates Maxim, so he calls IT to come by and check. By the time the IT guy comes over, the hacker has installed a keylogger. This way he will be able to see everything one types into Maxim's keyboard. The IT guy starts to investigate. To do so, he needs to type in his admin password, and bingo. The hacker got the admin's password. He tries it out on the domain controller, and yep, it's the same. Now he can go look for the computer in the network that controls the money transfers and the ATMs. But he doesn't attack right away. Instead, for months he silently observes the employees managing the transactions. Once he fully understands the process, he proceeds. To steal the money, the Carbanak group developed 3 different methods. One way is to transfer money from so-called transaction management accounts to their own accounts. To avoid suspicion, they raise the balances by the stolen amount beforehand, keeping the total unchanged. Since banks check accounts only every 10 hours, the transfers go unnoticed. Another way is to take control of specific ATMs to let them spill out banknotes right into the hands of money mules. These are men hired through the Moldovan mafia who collect the money and send it to their bosses. In exchange, they get to keep a small cut. The third method is the most sophisticated. The hackers set up a couple of bank accounts in the names of their money mules, including debit cards. Then they make sure they all have the same small amount on it, let's say $3.33. Then they update the bank's database, exchanging that $3.33 for $1 million. Suddenly, all the money mules have $1 million on their bank account. Now they just use their debit cards to withdraw the cash. As a side effect of the database update, some broke bank customers will suddenly find themselves to be millionaires. The better the Kaspersky team understands the methods of the Carbanak Group, the more they begin to grasp how complex this operation is. Kaspersky teams up with Europol, major European banks, and various national law enforcement agencies to hunt them down. They are able to take down some of their servers, but then the hackers start using different tools and continue to work under the radar. By the beginning of 2015, Carbanak has robbed at least 100 financial institutions in almost 30 countries. Most of the victims are in Russia, but also in the US, China, and Europe. Within 2 years, they steal roughly $1 billion. They appear to be unstoppable until someone screws up.